say if they don't maybe necessarily recognize it, it's not familiar, they're new, they don't really have other, like we have the benefit of having worked with a variety of children, a lot of children, having seen
Yes.
a lot of children. So it's very easy for me to interact with a child and within moments know if this child is if this child is advanced for their age. I mean, it
Yeah.
takes me moments because I've spent so much time with children and I've studied developmental, ages and stages and milestones. And I have all of that background. So it is very easy, but it might not be easily recognizable for a parent. So can you share maybe with our listeners or viewers, are there that you know of, are there any trusted evaluations or assessments that can help parents better understand their child's potential beyond just our regular standardized classroom testing?
I don't think standardized classroom testing will disappear. I think that we have kind of put it as a little crutch, right? We use it for funding for schools. We use it for showing that a teacher really did teach this year, whatnot, what they started at and where they're at now at the end of the year. So I think that, they have their time and place, these traditional tests that we've developed. And then we're trying to develop some new ones, right? Personality tests, just different like the amoeba kind of frame, right? Yeah, I don't I can't think of any off the top of my head by like name, but it's more of just I think for parents, they don't have to have a test. They just have to play with their child. Right? You just spend a little time playing or reading a book or walking outside, and those kind of quiet moments with your child are like a great sense of connection for them, for their
Right.
own personal well-being, and for you to get to know them a little bit. So I don't think parents need to send their kids to go sit down and write anything else down or, put on a brain cap to say, my brain waves are powerful. It's always interesting and intriguing. And if the study comes along, but no, I don't think that. I mean, we would all love our children to be gifted. And I do believe strongly that children are gifted in their own ways, right? That amoeba is true to form. Maybe someone cannot have a sit down conversation, but their physicality on the field is phenomenal and their body movement is just amazing, but they can't have a conversation as well as their other, maybe their sister or their brother, right? It could come from the same family and we see the differences in our kids. And I don't think we need to compare our own kids against one another. That just creates such an anxiety and just not the best cohesion for children to grow with their cohort, right? These are the people that are going to be the doctors and the lawyers and the mechanics and our future people that we need to come to rely on. So how do we give them um a little bit of a softness in their education, but create those boundaries to help them thrive, right? A lot of our communication with our kids. What's that study? They did it in, I think, London. It was two different plants, a control group, and one plant they had everyone speak negatively to, and the other plant they had
Right.
everyone speak positively to. And it just the difference in like a plant and how it grew from the control, from people speaking negatively and positively, and taking a step back and thinking maybe my child's behaviors aren't bad. I don't have a bad kid. Just I need to think of a different way to help them communicate, you know?
Right.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
evaluations and assessments beyond the classroom are really just parents trying to communicate with their kids a little bit. And when our kids spend so much time with teachers instead of at home, right? A lot of our kids spend a majority of their education time with teachers. It's sitting down and getting to know these teachers, saying, hey, I know that my child loves XYZ at home. Are they doing any of that in the classroom?
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it comes back down again to that teachers need time, right? Time to
Yeah.
get to know who their students are as learners and
Yeah.
to be able to really, adjust their curriculum and incorporate a different components so that they are reaching different types of learners.